Jerry Jones on 105 through the Fan in Dallas, and they were asking him about the quarterback situation and what might happen if Dallas ends up with, say, a top 3 pick.
Is it crazy to bring up the idea of taking a quarterback with the 3rd pick or the 2nd pick if you may have it?
Yes. You asked me if it's crazy to bring the idea up, and I'm answering you, yes. We're playing games here, guys, but it's not the thing to be talking about at all. You know, Dak is our quarterback.
I was about to say, you have a new drop, new laugh. You've already gotten it, huh?
We got quite the laugh montage.
We've got him. We've got Brent. We've got Kawhi. That's Garland. That's Larry David. That's Brent.
Gronk?
Brent gets
Yeah, Gronk.
You get the Gronk,
too. I
which
kinda
is
like
the
the
freak
Gronk.
creepiest one.
Yeah,
The Gronk's the
weird
creepiest one. Yep.
Hear me out. It's not crazy, okay?
It is crazy.
It's not crazy
It is
because
Yeah.
think about all these teams in recent years who have ended up winning a Super Bowl or reaching a Super Bowl with quarterbacks on their first contract, okay? You get out of paying Dak Prescott, which you didn't want to do anyway, or you would have done it by now, right? So what if they get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or maybe someone else finishes the college football season strong? Suddenly now you have 5 years of control with this guy, and you can build a team around this player who you obviously think is worthy, and you can make a Super Bowl run that way.
Interesting.
That sounds kind of crazy.
Let me just hit you on this, though. We still don't know the full details of the Dak Dallas conversation. All we would hear is from Jerry Jones, it takes 2 to tango, right? That there was some maybe contractual language, 4th, 5th year that Dak was refusing to sign and Dallas was refusing to budge from, and that was the end of that. But it's not. I don't think they were willing to pay him a certain amount of money. Or they weren't unwilling to pay him a certain amount of money. I think that there's a ton of details about the conversation that went back and forth between the two sides that we're not fully privy to. And Dak, before he hurt his ankle, was one of the best. And there is no indication that the way that he hurt his ankle will put him back on the field in the NFL as a shadow of his former self. Is it possible? Who the hell knows? So would you essentially, if Dallas finishes 2nd or 3rd overall, which is what the conversation was, would you take Justin Fields if you're Dallas and start from scratch with a team that's ready to win now? Zeke's not going to get any younger. Same with Amari Cooper. I mean, they're ready to win now. That's why they did it this year, the way that they did it. I don't see them starting from scratch at all.
But if you're talking about paying
Not
the
at
2nd
all.
overall pick,
No,
okay,
I mean,
from
if it's a
last
matter
year, it
of
was a
money,
4-year,
obviously.
30
No,
but
I
that's
know
what
that.
it seems to be coming down to between these two guys.
Not
Why
if-
doesn't Dak have a deal? Why didn't he get one done?
Like I
it
told
was about
you,
money.
You can't say that with certainty. You cannot say that with certainty.
There is less pie.
That it was about money. You can't.
Then why didn't it get done?
I don't know the answer to that, but you can't sit here and say that they, were unwilling to pay him, generationally ridiculous amounts of money, similar to Washington with Kirk Cousins. I don't. The way it's been described to me is that there was a ton of contractual language on the back end of the contract and the length of the contract that they were basically like, screw it, make you $30 million this year, and put the pressure on Dallas the next year. And go do what Joe Flacco did, which is win a championship on a walk year and force him to pay you an absurd amount of money. And at worst comes to worst, you're paid like Kirk Cousins, which is exactly the dream of everybody in the NFL, is to make as much guaranteed money as he's done. Nobody saw him busting up his leg like that. Again, like I said, I know you're assuming it was all about money, that they don't believe in him to the point where that they wouldn't pay him. It was something other than the amount of money that they were offering him that caused Dak to back away. This is what the way it's been described.
It might have been the years, but still, you're talking about paying Justin Fields for a 5th of what you get Dak Prescott at. I think Cowboys fans sign up for that.
I don't. I wouldn't.
Well, there's one you could ask.
Well, feel free to chime in.
I wouldn't sign up for that.
I mean, you want Dak back?
Yeah.
But you want Dak at $200 million or Justin Fields at $35 million?
What do I care? I ain't paying him.
But you have to think in terms like that because that's why the deal didn't get done in the first place.
Pay the man. We're seeing what happens when he's not on the field, right? I've never seen Justin Fields in an NFL game, so I don't know how he's going to translate. I know what I've seen with Dak Prescott. I know what we got. So,
hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.